Ambassador, we saw some very dramatic attack on Iran, and yesterday we saw the supreme leader also being killed. Do you think now the objective of these strikes have been achieved, and what next now?
Hello, Naveen, and thank you for this interview. No, it's not over yet. Yes, indeed, this has been a very substantial success of a combined operation led by the United States together with the Israel Defense Forces. And we have achieved this elimination of the person that was in charge for decades of killing multiple Israelis and Americans. And now we are continuing with the operation targeting, as Prime Minister Netanyahu said, more than 2,500 military targets across Iran.
So, what is the prime objective now? Because a lot of people are also questioning the legitimacy of this assault. Now you have achieved, you were against the top leadership, supreme leadership, you are against the military leadership, you have removed them. Now what next?
Well, as I told you, we are concentrating in the military capability of this regime. As you know, Naveen, for decades they have been building a military nuclear program. They have been building a ballistic missile program of thousands and thousands of missiles capable of destroying almost any country in our region. They've been sponsoring terrorist organizations and exporting them the means to build weapons of mass destruction. So we've been targeting all that, and we will continue to target that. We also have a hope that the Iranian people will embrace this moment and take out the streets against this regime, the same regime that has massacred tens of thousands of Iranians, of Iranian demonstrators, not long ago. So we don't know whether the Iranian people will embrace the opportunity or not, but we are certainly giving them a chance to do so.
So regime change was not only the sole objective. You said the objective is to diminish and finish the military capability. So how far you have reached? How far you have achieved that now?
We are still in the process. I think we have to wait for the BDA. As you probably saw, the Iranian regime still is capable of firing at different targets in the region, including Israel. And yesterday we had a hit in Tel Aviv, in which dozens of Israelis were injured and a woman was killed. We hope that as this operation continues, the Iranian capabilities will be degraded substantially, and they will no longer be able to throw havoc into our region.
How do you see their retaliation now?
Well,
what is your assessment of their retaliation? Were you expecting or anticipating this kind of retaliation?
Absolutely. I think that the Iranians were preparing themselves to this moment. According to our intelligence, they even have considered several times to actually conduct themselves a preemptive strike against targets, including in Israel and in the region as well. Fortunately, we've been able to foil that and attack them first, and that caused severe damage to the capability to destroy other countries in the region.
Iranian leadership says that it is actually they have betrayed. US and Israel has betrayed them because they were already on the talking table with the United States, and suddenly this attack happened. So they said it was a clear deceit.
Well, the United States was, I think, sincerely hoping that Iran will change course. And after they saw the might that we showed back in June, when we strike their nuclear facilities and their ballistic missile facilities, that they will understand that they can no longer continue with this policy. They have to come to the table and compromise. Unfortunately, the United States got to the conclusion that Iran was not compromising, and they were right. They were just dragging and playing for time. And therefore, this operation had to take place because we've been trying for decades to make the Iranians change course. We have failed diplomatically. Not only us, many other countries tried that. And Iran was continuing to pose an existential threat, not only to Israel, by the way, but to many other countries in the region. And we saw now that the Iranians decided to escalate and attack other countries in the region. And therefore, this only increases the justification behind our actions.
What does the end of Khamenei means to this war? Like, what does it mean to Israel?
Well, for many Israelis, Khamenei not only symbolizes, but we know that he was personally responsible of commanding multiple operations in which many Israelis were killed. So, no doubt, this was a moment of joy in Israel, a moment in which we saw that the person that has been in charge of this destruction in our country, of killing of innocent people, finally was held accountable for his actions.
Sir, you are saying that this will bring stability in the region, but what we are seeing now is a spree of instability. A lot of airspaces are shut, and the Strait of Hormuz is under danger. Now the supply chain will be affected. So how is US and Israel going to tackle this? Because this is going to create a big crisis.
Well, we have to be patient when you see wait to see what will happen. I think that the combined force of Israel and the overwhelming force of the United States is going to make a difference, and we are hopefully going to see in the coming few days a substantial degradation in the Iranian capability to cause damage and do the things that you were mentioning, like closing the Straits of Hormuz. So we saw the Iranians for decades threatening to close the Straits of Hormuz. They haven't achieved that, and I'm pretty positive that we'll be able to take out their capability to do so.
Sir, did you speak to other countries, or was there any communication with other countries before the attack or after the attack? Did the international community, is anybody approached Israel and America to stop this now? And is there some off-ramp? I can ask.
Well, yes, so we've been engaging in the last 24 hours with many countries, including a telephone conversation that took place between Foreign Minister Gideon Saar and External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar. And they exchanged views on the situation. And we are communicating to all our friends and colleagues the aims of this operation, the concerns of the State of Israel, and the reasons why we could no longer live with this threat. The imminent danger that the Iranians will not only go underground, but go underground to the extent that they will be completely immune against an attack targeting their capabilities, and they took a decision to build a nuclear weapon. So we don't want to get into a situation like we have with North Korea, for example. That would be terrible for the region. It would mean that the Iranian regime would have a carte blanche of intimidating and attacking any country in the region, even in a more aggressive way than the way that they've been doing that in the past. And therefore, this action, I think, is going to make the entire region of West Asia a much more stable region.
Sir, we have seen a lot of angry protests in Iran on US and Israel. And on the contrary, you are saying that this is going to open up an opportunity for the Iranians to bring another government to regime change. So we are getting very mixed signals. How optimistic are you that it is a very popular move to attack the regime and the military establishment? And do you think actually will the Iranians rise above the movement and to try and make a regime change on their own?
We certainly hope so. We don't know whether they will be able to do so, because don't forget, the Basij forces and the Revolutionary Guard Corps are ruthless. They are a bunch of killers. They have been, without hesitation, killing multiple people, tens of thousands of Iranians only a few weeks back. They've been trying to kill dissidents all around the world for decades now. And it's not an easy thing to rise up against such oppression. We hope that Iranians will do that. We are not sure it will happen, but I think it was the moral responsibility of both the United States and Israel to give the Iranian people this hope. We are hearing, unlike what you were saying, we are hearing a lot of voices of thanks from a lot of Iranians around the world and in Iran itself. Many people are celebrating this moment, and I hope they will be able to turn this moment into a moment of change that will bring a brighter future and a more rosy future for the people of Iran. They deserve a better future, free from this terrible oppression they've been suffering from decades now.
And my last question, how much is the number of casualties in Israel which Iran has been able to inflict on Israel, sir? What is the kind of, have you done any damage assessment?
At this point, we've seen a few dozens of people injured in Israel. The majority of them as a result of a direct strike in Tel Aviv last night, including a woman that was killed. We hope times passes by and our degradation capabilities increase, that the damage that the Iranian regime can continue to inflict in Israel will diminish substantially.
Sir, Iran has alleged that you are also targeting civilian targets, including a college, a school. They have in fact released, their official media has also released some pictures. So what do you have to say about that, sir, in the end?
As I told you, we are targeting more than 2,500 military targets. We do not have the intention of attacking schools or anything of that sort. We have to be very careful with the information that comes out of Iran. We've seen in the past attempts, not only by the Iranians, but also by terrorist organizations to blame Israel of different things. We do not know what hit that school. It might have been a misfire. It might have been something else. We are checking that because we want to make sure that no civilian targets are being hit by our forces.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for talking to us at this crucial juncture. We look forward to engage with you again, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Nabi.